morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television and Happy New Year. We're currently looking at a pretty great drive on most of our major highways and expressways this morning because a lot of people still on holiday. Taking a look at the Toronto-bound QEW heading over the Burlington Skyway, we are not looking at any delays whatsoever. You can see that it's moving actually quite fine in the Toronto-bound QEWs to the right of your screen here. We're also looking at a pretty great drive on the eastbound QEW, moving through Burlington, moving through Oakville, and moving through Mississauga. So very nice drive through these areas right now. And the Gardner is also moving very well in towards Toronto, but it's actually starting to look a little bit busy to the left of your screen here, but it's not slow. That's the key word. Just outside of our view in Durham region, we do have some emergency construction happening around Brock Street. Left lanes on both sides of the highway blocked with that emergency road work and not causing you any major delays this morning. That's a look at your drive. Now over to you, Frankie.
Good morning. We're going to start off. Thanks, Steph. Happy New Year to everyone on this January the 2nd, where we're waking up to 3 degrees in Toronto. Friends in Muskoka, you're waking up to -3 this morning. To Ottawa, where I was just a few days ago, -4. Good morning to you there. And to Windsor this morning, sitting at about +1. We have wind chills right now, -1. Speaking of winds, you're going to feel them through the afternoon, 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. So a gusty afternoon. The upside, pushing in that warmth. Going to see partly cloudy skies, dry conditions today and for the bulk tomorrow. Tomorrow, a little heavier cloud cover. And then tomorrow night, a risk of some flurries, and we could see wet snow on Saturday. Highs today of 7, as we mentioned, continuing mild tomorrow at 7 degrees, +1 on your Saturday. The overnight low for tonight, right around 4. Let's look at your next 3 days. Weather-wise, have a good one. Now it's on to your news.
Thank you, Frank. And we begin from our streets. A double shooting leaving one man dead, a second with life-threatening injuries. 680 News reporter Carl Hansky is there with an update.
You can see the bullet holes along the driver's side of this black Hyundai Sonata here, right by Dundas and River Street, where the looks like to be a double drive-by shooting occurred around 10:30 last night. Residents tell me they heard several gunshots, at least 7. It appears 2 males were inside that car when it looks like a gunman in another vehicle rolled up alongside and opened fire. You can see the shell casings that were on the ground, the evidence markers, the bullet holes alongside of the car. One of the males inside the car, a 21-year-old, has died. The second male remains in hospital in critical condition. The shooter obviously took off. This is Toronto's first confirmed homicide of 2020. At Dundas and River Street downtown. I'm Carl Hansky, 680 News.
And to world news now, the Australian state of New South Wales declaring a 7-day state of emergency because of devastating wildfires. This declaration begins tomorrow before conditions are expected to worsen this weekend. Officials are racing to evacuate beaches where thousands of people have been sheltering to escape the fast-moving bushfires along the country's southeast coast. Families are packing supplies into vehicles, lining up to get out. The state's premier explaining the decision and what it means.
The reason why we're doing it ahead of Saturday is to make sure that Commissioner Fitzsimmons and all of the emergency personnel, all of our agencies, all organisations know that from tomorrow they will be subject to forced evacuations, road closures, road openings and anything else we need to do as a state to keep our residents safe and to keep property safe.
Scorching temperatures and high winds are fueling more than 200 fires in New South Wales and Victoria. At least 17 people have died. More than 1,000 homes have been destroyed in what is now Australia's worst wildfire season on record. Taiwan's top military official, General Shen Yiming, is among 8 people killed in a helicopter crash today. This happened in a mountainous region near the capital, Taipei. Rescuers combing this mangled aftermath, finding 5 survivors. The helicopter was on a mission to visit soldiers ahead of the Lunar New Year later this month. It lost contact with base about 13 minutes after takeoff. A task force has now been set up to investigate. A firefighter has been killed while trying to rescue people during a fire at a battery factory in New Delhi, India. At least 13 other firefighters were injured, as well as 3 civilians, when the blaze sparked an explosion, causing part of the building to collapse. There are still some concerns that some of the missing people could still be in the building. And deadly floods that have turned Jakarta's streets into rivers have now left tens of thousands of people homeless. At least 21 people have been killed in the most intense rains to pound Indonesia's capital in years. With more heavy rain predicted this week, the government is struggling to keep Jakarta dry. Illegally dug wells and climate change have caused the city to slowly sink. It's part of why Indonesia is moving the capital to another part of the country.